This is the time of the year where many people start doing their New Year's resolutions, and obviously most of them are doing that in the hopes that the next year might turn out much better than this year. At this time of the year, there are plenty of articles circulating and posts on social media which will tell you whether or not you should make New Year's resolutions. And the headline and the content is usually somewhere around the lines of, does it work? Do New Year's resolutions actually work or not? There are those people, and I'm pretty sure that you know them, who always manage to accomplish their New Year's resolutions, and as a matter of fact, any kind of goal that they set. But according to a study mentioned in Forbes.com, actually the very least of people manage to stick to them. In fact, after 30 days, which would mean end of January next year, only about 25% stick to their resolutions, and over the course of a whole year, only 8% actually accomplish them. I don't think that you can just generalize and say whether New Year's resolutions work or not, because if we look at the earlier study, 8% of people actually accomplish their New Year's resolutions, so there are actually people who achieve them. And this means that New Year's resolutions do have some kind of utility for some people. So I think the question is not whether or not to make them, but the question is why you make them, and also what kind of significance you personally attached to New Year's resolutions. And here are two very important criteria that I think must be fulfilled if you want to have a good chance at accomplishing your resolutions. The first one is this: you have to start the new year on the right foot. Beginnings are super important. If you start the new year with a negative mindset, then you can almost forget about the rest. Imagine this: you're trying to make a Black Forest cake and you somehow manage to screw up the batter. Or I'm not sure what it's called. You see, then I'm not a baker. But anyway, you got the point. You screw up the batter and it's almost no point in continuing unless you remake the batter. I'm not saying that there is anything really magical about the start of the new year. Actually, if you think about it, what's really happening is that just a few numbers on the calendar are changing. But if you're like me and you attach even the slightest symbolic meaning to the turn of the year, then yes, beginnings are really important. But now you might ask me, so how do I start the new year on the right foot? And what does that even mean? What do I do now? If you want to know more about this, then you might want to check out my other video, which I will link up here, about how to make a very easy and useful year-end review. And this is the second criteria for making New Year's resolutions actually work, and that is to set the right kind of resolution. Resolutions are usually things that are very hard to achieve and that require some change of mindset or habit to occur. The only way that you can actually manage to stick to your resolution is that if that one thing has top priority in your life. So let's say that your resolution is that you want to lose weight, which I think is not the right kind of resolution to set, but let's put that aside for now. Let's say that your goal is to lose 5 kilograms. But for you, this goal is not really top priority yet. It's something that if it happens, you would be very glad about, but even if it didn't happen, it would not be the end of the world. So that means that it's not top priority yet. People who manage to accomplish their resolutions are usually those people who had a major realization about something that was really going wrong in their lives. For example, they might have just gone through a period of very bad health. They might have hit rock bottom in a sense. And hitting rock bottom means that there's a realization of this person that I can't live this way any longer. I really can't, and I don't want to. So it just can't get any lower than that. And that, at that point, that's when the person realizes that, okay, I've got to make a change. I want to make this resolution because this one thing is really top priority for me. On the other hand, if you make a resolution of which you yourself are not that convinced, you're not 100% convinced yet that you need to make this one major change in your life, then chances are that it is not going to happen and that you are not going to stick to it. So in order to make a worthwhile New Year's resolution, something something that you will likely stick to, you need to first find out what your top priorities are for the next year. And how are you able to find out what these top priorities are? You might already know, and in that case, it will be much easier for you to set those resolutions. But if you don't know, or if you still have the slightest confusion about what these priorities are, then I would highly recommend you to first do a year-end review, because only if you know where you actually realistically are now in life and where you want to go, what you want to achieve in your life, only then that's when you know what your priorities are. So let's say that you made this New Year's resolution of losing 5 kilograms or 10 pounds, and you've actually made this exact same resolution for the last 5 years or 6 or 7 years. But somehow you never accomplish that. And in that case, you might ask yourself, why have I never managed to accomplish that one same resolution over all these years? And if you think further about it, it might be because perhaps losing those 5 kilograms or 10 pounds was never your priority to begin with. Maybe you weren't really aware that your real, true priority all these years was actually to reconnect with a sibling who you haven't talked to in years. Or maybe there are some really important relationships that you really want to work on, and losing those 5 kilograms aren't actually what is important to you. But of course, it could be the case that losing weight is actually a priority for you. But the reason that you haven't accomplished this all these years is because you yourself are not really convinced of why you have to do this. So one really important part of setting a New Year's resolution or any kind of goal is the question why. Why do I have to do this? What am I doing this for? And one way to really figure this out is by doing this year-end review. Setting New Year's resolutions can have a motivational impact on you depending on the importance and significance that you personally attach to them. So if you say that the new year is a reset, it's an opportunity to recreate things, to build and to redesign things, then it will actually be able to provide you with that motivation that you're looking for. But if making New Year's resolutions is just something that you happen to do while you're having a New Year's Eve party with a bunch of friends, having a few drinks, and then just taking turns making and speaking out your New Year's resolutions just for the sake of the fun, then of course it won't have that effect that you are hoping for. So while I myself don't really make New Year's resolution in a traditional way where you set the cutoff exactly at the turn of the new year, I do believe that it can be a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy for some people. Even though what is actually taking place is just a change in the dates in the calendar, and we're actually just transitioning from one day from the 31st of December to the 1st of January, but still you are constantly reminded of the fact that 1 year has passed. Every time that you need to write down the date and you write down 2020 instead of 2019, you are reminded that, oh my God, I can't believe that another year has passed. What have I been spending my time on the whole past year? So now that another year has started, I feel that I have this whole new opportunity to set things right, to start from scratch again, or to improve a lot of things in my life. And it can infuse you with this new sense of motivation and hope. If there's anything that I would like you to take away from this video, is not whether or not you should make any New Year's resolutions, because come on, you yourself know the best what you gotta do, right? But what's really important to remember is whatever you do, don't do it half-heartedly. If you set New Year's resolutions but you do it half-heartedly, then I would say you are completely wasting your time. You are wasting your time, first of all, coming up with a resolution, and then you're putting effort and time into it, maybe for the first few weeks or the first month of the year, but then you yourself are not really into it, you're not really convinced of it, you're not really taking it seriously, and then in the end you just drop it and you've just completely wasted your time with it. But on the other hand, if you do decide to make New Year's resolutions and you are 100% into it, you are really hyped and excited about it, then I think you have a very good chance of accomplishing them this year. I've talked enough about this now, and I would really like to know what you guys think about New Year's resolutions. So please leave your thoughts, your opinions down below in the comments. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it has somehow inspired you to approach New Year's resolutions in a different way. If you like this video, then go ahead and click the like button and also share this video with your friends. And if you want to continue to get more videos from me on the topics of career change, and also motivation, then you might want to consider subscribing. And please also don't forget to hit the little alarm bell that you see at the bottom, because YouTube will only notify you of my new videos if you actually click it. As always, it was awesome to have you guys around, and I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the last days of 2019, and I hope to see you again soon.